This month's theme is, and then next month's is, well, this month's August box is Look What You Made Me Do. But I've just seen this here and it looks like it's a desk mat. That is absolutely extra large mouse pad and it looks like it has phoenixes on, would you say? That's a phoenix. It has phoenixes on.
The one on the left looks like a duck.
Look at, oh yeah, maybe some ducks as well. Look at the detail. I'm not entirely sure what this is. However, from looking at it, I think it would be a good thing to put in like your purse. But I think what it is basically is that you can put like a couple of makeup products possibly, or some annotation products, I don't know, in here, and then there's a mirror here. The reason why this is blurry is because you have to peel off the film. But these are magnetic bookmarks. Look how cute they are. It's like a fluffy, I'm gonna say that's like a wolf or a cat maybe. I have no idea what these two are because I haven't read the book, unfortunately, but they are stunning. And I recently brought magnetic bookmarks this year and I really, really love them. So I'm very excited about this and I love to have more bookmarks. You can never have too many bookmarks in my opinion. Then we've got this. Oh, sorry, that's really high pitched. It's a book planner. You got your bookshelf of all of the books that you've read. And then more bookshelf space just in case you use it for multiple years, I guess. And then you have your books of the month that you can put in, like maybe your favourite books of the month. And then you've got your reading goals list. And then here you've got the Illumicate Reading Challenge. I really love this as an item. Like this item I think is highly flexible and will suit a lot of readers that like to track their reading. And I'm just really excited. I think it's very, very pretty. And finally in here we have our book at the very, very, very bottom. I love how they come wrapped. You've just seen it, haven't you? So I love how they come wrapped in bubble wrap. The book of the month is The Phoenix Keeper by S.A. MacLean. I have a secret to tell you guys. I did know that this was going to be the book because I like to research and see if I want to skip the month ahead. This new colourway of the dust jacket is just absolutely stunning. On the back it says, "Falling in love never burned so bright." But yeah, this is what the whole dust jacket looks like. I'm trying to ignore the inside. And then the sprayed edges. You guys are not ready. Look at that. Here is the front end page. And here is the back end page. And here is the naked hardcover. I realised that it wasn't the best lighting in the last clip, but this is July's, or was July's Illumicate book. This came late, so it came halfway through August. So I only got this week actually. Yeah, it arrived this week, so I haven't had it for that long. The other two books are Fairy Loot books, and I don't have a Fairy Loot subscription, but my absolutely amazing partner, he got me these as a graduation present, but also for getting my absolute dream job. If you guys don't know, if you're new here, I recently finished my third and final year of university this year in May, and I have got my dream job that I will be starting in a couple of weeks, and I am ecstatic and I'm over the moon. He wants to give them to me now because I have 2 weeks, like I said, before I start my job, and obviously at that point I'm going to be really, really busy. So because of that, he decided to give them to me now so that I can read them and have time to read, which I'm so excited about. So these are two Fairy Loot editions. These are both January books from Fairy Loot as well, so you might have them yourselves or you might have seen them be hauled earlier on. The first book that he got me was the January 2024 Regency and Scandal. This is the young adult book of the month, A Fragile Enchantment by Alison Saft. This is one rendition. I believe this is a recolor and reimagining of the original cover that is on the traditionally published book. And then they have reverse dust jackets for Fairy Loot, which is something that Illumicate don't have. And this is what the reverse dust jacket look like. The naked hardcover. Look at it. Oh my god, there's foil, there's foiling, there's, oh my god, it's just beautiful. And this all makes sense in the lines of the book, because the book, the female character, she weaves, I believe, like some type of magic into the garments that she makes. So it's really suits the job. The end paper art is different on both sides and it's absolutely stunning. It gives me Bridgerton vibes with these pictures, with this art at the back and the front. But I think it's absolutely stunning. And I almost missed showing you guys the best, one of the best parts of this book. Look at these sprayed edges. They're like rose bushes, I believe. I had absolutely no input in this. My partner did all the research himself. He looked up all of these reputable people by himself. He did it all himself and he chose the books himself. I had no input at all. Honestly, he just knows my reading taste really well. And then the next Fairy Loot book was the 2024 January 2024. I think this was the adult book box, and the theme was Star Chosen, and the book for that month was The City of Stardust by Georgia Summers. Look at this edition, absolutely stunning. So this is the custom Just Jacket, I believe, from Fairy Loot, and on the back it says curses are made to be broken. And these are the sprayed edges. What? They are absolutely stunning. That's a masterpiece. At the bottom it looks like this, and you've got the bottom end, the like head end of the key, I don't know what you'd call that. And then at the top you have like more of this whimsical galaxy, and then the end of the key that would go on like the keychain. The reverse is I believe a recolor of the traditionally published cover of the book. The naked hardcover looks a little something like this, just some silver foiling. As you can see, it's kind of like a river, I guess, between two mountains. The character art, you have this character art on the front end pages of the book, and you have different character art on the back, which looks like this. Hopefully this is interesting for you guys, but I've always wanted someone to give me like a really like in-depth look at like Fairy Loot and Illumicrate and like, you know, those book box conditions and books. I am just absolutely, I don't know what to say. I just feel overwhelmed and like really like lucky and privileged and thankful right now. Like I'm getting really emotional and I literally cried when I opened these. Start The City of Stardust, because the first line of A City of Stardust is like so chilling. Like it sounds so good. Ready? The first line is, in Paris, a child goes missing. A baby, to be more precise. 1 minute, he is in his pram, making chubby fits whilst his mother wheels him around a grocery shop. For a moment, just a moment, she will insist afterwards. She glances away to examine her shopping list, certain she's forgotten something, but unable to recollect what. The next, he is gone, whisked away by sure, confident hands. By the time his mother looks back at the soft place where her baby used to be, the perpetrator has vanished. Hey! I don't know why that walk-in just makes me laugh so much. I've done it like 3 times. I thought it was time to come and give you guys a reading update for The City of Stardust by Georgia Summers. Now, I haven't really had lots of time to read the last couple of days just because I've been super busy. I have done a little bit of reading. I am 44 pages through The City of Stardust, and so far I'm really intrigued. I am thoroughly enjoying this. I love the tone that this book has. It's kind of like this magical kind of, but like fairy tale-esque vibes that I have so far from the book. I don't think I'm always going to have that vibe. I think that it actually will take a little bit more of a like sinister turn, because it's very intriguing and you're not really learning about the whole world in depth. You're getting small snippets that you've got to kind of piece together yourself. It might change when our main character Violet has to go somewhere else, or I'm assuming we'll have to go somewhere else in the book, and then we'll learn a lot more about the world and how the magic itself works. I am thoroughly intrigued. I feel as though there could be romance in here. I don't actually know if there is romance in here or not, but I feel like there could be. So those are my thoughts so far. They're not very in-depth. Like I said, I'm only 44 pages through, so I really cannot give you a well-rounded opinion of this book. Hey guys, sorry for the horrific lighting. I said I was probably going to try and get to page 100 tonight, but I actually have accidentally done that. It is 11:20 at night. and I just got to part 2 in The City of Stardust, and I am loving this. I'm so intrigued. So basically the undertone of this book, you've got a mystery going on where our main character Violet's mother left her on a rainy, stormy night, and basically nobody knows where she went, or is at least willing to tell us where she went or where she is or where they assume she is right now. And that's the kind of mystery that's kind of threaded beneath everything else. So even though we see Violet in different stages of life and her brothers in different stages of life, and they're definitely keeping lots and lots of secrets from Violet, we still have that underthread of her mother being missing and supposedly being on a mission, and we're kind of seeing these little nuggets of information and picking them up as we go along. And I'm really enjoying the writing style being like that. It's less of like being told, more of like, oh look, here's this little bit of information, this little bit of information that you might not think is significant, but it actually really is significant as the story goes on and you're building this picture. And I don't know how to explain the undertone of the story. At moments it's sinister, at moments it's lonely, it's sad, but it's very compelling. Wow, I look like a hot mess. I have spent this morning reading, and I thought I would give you guys a quick update because I haven't updated you guys for so long. This is how far through I am. I'm now on part 5. I believe I'm entering the last section of the book. And in a way, I'm kind of underwhelmed, but also it really fits the book. I don't know how to explain to you guys the world properly or the feeling that you get reading this. It's just really like magical fairy tale-esque, but also really whimsical, but also really intense. It's definitely a very slow moving plot, which is not something that I normally enjoy, particularly in my fantasy. I think for me, what I'm finding really difficult is that the way that this book is set up is that there are certain people who are really like all powerful, all knowing, but yet they're really easy to kind of dispose of, for lack of a better word. And I think I'm really struggling with that because the concept of them being all knowing and this this like amazing thing, you know, like all and being like all powerful, just to be gotten rid of so easily just feels really difficult for my mind to kind of wrap around. But it also kind of makes sense in terms of the way the world is, just people don't investigate properly into everything, which I find very interesting. Like, we're gonna talk whilst I get ready today because I have some plans to meet up with a friend. I did finish The City of Stardust yesterday. I think I told you guys that I read like 200 pages yesterday, and I finished the whole book yesterday in pretty much one sitting. I did do a couple of things in between, but I did pretty much finish this in one sitting. I am kind of frustrated about this and about my rating because I feel heartbroken by my rating, but then if you asked me if I would suggest this to people, my answer would be yes, because I absolutely adored the writing and I loved the way the magic worked. And I do realise that I told not a lie, but I said that I have never read a magic system like this, and I haven't, but I have seen similar themes to this in other books. If you guys enjoyed The Astery, you will enjoy, I think, this book, but I think you'll still feel just as disappointed as everyone did at the end of that series. I'm not going to name the series because I don't want to give out spoilers. If you know who the Astery are, then you will know what I'm talking about. And it's not to the same extent, it's not the exact same plot, and obviously this could have been inspired by that series. I don't know if it was, I haven't done any research around that, but there definitely are themes that are very similar to those characters in that series. There's things that are unsolved at the end of this book, but at the same time it felt thoroughly wrapped up. So it's like, I don't understand why we've left a couple of doorways open. I did like the way that instead of getting info dumped these stories, we had a couple of chapters where the older stories were just what we got in the chapter, and I really enjoyed that. I think for some people they wouldn't enjoy it because it takes you out of the story to then throw you back into the story. I should be getting ready whilst I'm talking. So there was loads of things that I absolutely adored in this book, and Honestly, if you asked me to rate this for the writing style, I would give it a 4.5, like 4 to 4.5 stars. However, the execution just wasn't there, and I think I'm just heartbroken by that, because I really enjoyed where the story was going. I really enjoyed the plot line. I really enjoyed it all, but it just didn't give what, I guess, not that I was expecting is the wrong word. It just was all very underwhelming at the end. And honestly, the things that were going on, considering who these people were, again, if you know the Astri, they were just like way too easy to like get rid of. It's one of those things where like I would love to reread this book in a year or two's time. And I think the next book that I'm going to pick up is going to be A Fragile Enchantment by Alison Saft. Hey guys, I basically did like the equivalent of a full day shift today. I ended up picking up A Fragile Enchantment by Alison Saft, and I literally only read 12 pages, but I'm on chapter 2, so I'm not very far in. We've just kind of got, you know, a bit of literally dropped at her traveling away from her hometown into this other town, but her hometown was someone who fought about the other town or city, who fought them in a war. So her grandma feels like she's disgracing their family name by going to work in the castle, but her working in the castle would give her the money that she needs to make sure that her nan and make sure her grandmother and her mother are safe, who both are very, very ill and cannot use or access their magic anymore, which I believe their magic gets intertwined into the garments that they're sewing, which is really, really intriguing. I'm very excited to enter this. It's definitely very Regency, so if you love a Regency read, you will absolutely love this. Good morning, guys. I am more ready than I normally come to you guys in the morning, finishing City of Stardust, which, by the way, I finally decided I'm going to settle on a 4-star with that book. I really loved the writing. I was so intrigued by the magic system. There were just so many things that I was so intrigued with, that I loved, that honestly, a 3-star felt way too low, but then 3.5, it felt kind of good, but it also didn't feel right. So yeah, I'm settling on a 4-star because of the writing style mainly. I only read the first chapter the last time we spoke, I believe, but I am now on chapter 4, which may not seem like I've made that much progress, but I am 37 pages in, which again, not that much. I'm hoping to get halfway by the end of today through this book, but I do need to film and edit a whole video today, so I'm not sure if that's going to be possible, but I thought I'd give you guys an update whilst I paint my nails. So the first chapter that I read, I was a bit like, I don't know, a bit slow. And like, honestly, the start of any new fantasy world or new romance world can sometimes be a little bit slow in my opinion, because there's so much to set up, particularly if there's like magical elements in the world like there is in this book. They've got so much to set up and like, you know, so little pages to do the setup and make you love the characters and make you be intrigued by the plot, that it can sometimes feel either rushed or a bit too slow paced for what the rest of the book provides. Also, I've never read Bridgerton, but I did watch season 1, only season 1. I know I'm a criminalist at watching, but there is like a scandal sheet that Lady Whistledown writes. It is like so good. It like reveals everybody's secrets and all the drama. And there's like a similar scandal sheet in this book, and I have a feeling I'm going to absolutely adore that element of this book. Our female main character comes from like an island or an island from what I can assume, but she's part of like the same world. I don't know how to explain it, but the place where she's going to is like the built up rich part of the city where the royals live, and then the land where she is from, which is across the sea, is a place where they basically destroy these people that are rich, the royals. They ruined this her hometown for being greedy about the farming and the crops and the magic, and they basically just sucked all of the life out of the land and left lots of people there desolate and with no jobs and with no money and just struggling to survive, including her family herself. But she has drawn the royals' attention because she is a seamstress, and a very, very good one at that, but she sews her magic into the garments that she creates, which is actually like really, really cool and really interesting concept. I'm so excited to learn like more about that. But the way that she explained it was that she puts a piece of her soul into every garment that she makes, and we've already had like some
titillating information, I'm going to say, like some interesting information where she's concerned about a certain element of her body, and she's like, just ignore it, and I'm wondering if that's going to get increasingly more severe the more she continues to sew, as though the use of her magic is a physical deterioration of her. Yeah, there's like a lot of layers already. We've got the prince, who I believe is getting married, but I don't think it's like it's like an arranged marriage from what I have figured out so far. So we've got his story. He's getting arranged marriage, and she is to be his seamstress, and his fiance's, I think she's also going to be his fiance's seamstress for the wedding that he doesn't want. And I have a feeling that I've heard that this is like forbidden romance, and if there is, I think that the prince and her are going to somehow get along. But in their first encounter, he basically accused her of being a fraud. And we also recently learned that the royals are still really prejudiced against her people. They're the Makalish people, I think is how I say it. They're really prejudiced against them, and they think that they're like lazy, not hard workers. But basically the reason why they're all walking out on their jobs is because they're treated really poorly just because they're Makalish, even though the royals are the reason why, the royals and people living in this rich land are the reason why their homeland has nothing. So it's a very like juxtaposed world and juxtaposed position from where she's from to where she is now, and there's a lot of history there, and she does feel guilt for going to the city, but without going to the city she can't look after her nana and grandma, her mum and her grandma, who are not very well. She can't give them a better quality of life, so she's gone because she has to, but she does feel like she's betraying her heritage by going because of the war that was waged between the lands.
This is like my Christmas every month, but this month I've had 2, so I feel like I've had double Illumicrate Christmas. But I have skipped September's box because it is Dark Academia themed, and I just do not get along with Dark Academia books. This is one of the things I was most excited for about getting the merch style box from Illumicrate, is all of like the kitchenware stuff. I am like a hoarder of kitchen stuff. Guys! Oh my goodness, look. Oh my goodness, look. Now this is not something that I would necessarily reach for, to be honest with you, and it's not something that I would buy for myself. However, I do take a lot of vitamins. Got 2 other things here. I don't know what this is. These are inspired by Bride by Ali Hazelwood. There's packing cubes in here. Guys, look. I'm actually going on a trip in October with my partner because it will be our 4-year anniversary. So I am going to put these to the test. I've never owned packing cubes. I've been so curious about them. So the top is like mesh and there's like straps in there as well. Then we've got this little pouch here, which is really soft. I have already been spoiled for what this is because I have the spoiler sheet open so I can tell you what each thing's. I'm not gonna lie, this is not what I envisioned the sword looking like, but this is absolutely, like, this is awesome. What? This is inspired by Serpent and the Wings of Night. This is Araya's dagger. This has been such a good box. The one item, like I said, that I'm like, I like it, it's fine, I will probably find a use to it, but it's not like my most favorited or needed thing is the pill box, but honestly I could definitely find a use for it. Onto the best part of the box every month, our book. Wow, that is pretty. I don't know if this is just a recolor of the original. So the bottom and top edges are like a deep grey sprayed edge, but oh my goodness, these are incredible edges, guys. Look at those edges. Wow, from what I can see, there's like, it's like a haunted manor or haunted castle kind of vibes on the seaside cliff. This is so cool. I'm so excited. Oh my god, I don't know where to start. I don't know where to start. This box is so good. This is, oh, okay, so this is the first in a series. It's the first of the Age of Blood series by K.M. Enright, and this is Mistress of Lies. This gives me such vampiric vibes as well, and I believe that vampires are in this book and this story, but look what? This looks incredible. This is absolutely stunning. That's the naked hardcover. Then we've got some end paper art as well. Here we go. That is just unbelievably pretty. Absolutely stunning. And then the end papers on the other side are different. These are absolutely stunning. I have a reading update finally. I feel like I've been making kind of slow but steady progress in this book throughout the last like 2 days, but I am now over 100 pages through this book. I'm on page 111, chapter 10. I feel like for me, I feel as though I read books slower when the chapters are longer. Still, one of my favourite parts of this is the scandal sheet and like the scandals that are going on. The FMC, she is Mackalish and she is now not in on Mackalish soil. And these people just treat her really disgustingly. Like the rumours that they've kind of made up about her and the things that they say about her are just like so outrageous and like not okay, but considering they don't even know her, they're just basically making that judgment because she's Mackalish and not Avalish, which I know, get around that they sound so similar as well. I feel I finally got to the point where kind of the world building sprinkled in is kind of slowing down a little bit now, and we're getting more into the kind of personal development and personal links between characters, which I personally really enjoy. I do like the politics bit, but sometimes the building of worlds can be a bit slow. How that it's Regency from the way that it's written is what I'm trying to say. The writing is very like of Regency time, which I really like because it kind of helps blends that kind of Regency timeline into the book, because the writing is written as though it was written in that kind of time frame as well. I am now on page 233. I have about 140 pages left that I'm going to hopefully read tomorrow. I'm hoping to read the 140 pages tomorrow and then start our next book. I felt that the turning point was coming in this book, and it definitely hit. These last 100 pages or so have been so good. They've been more like developed in the world. You've seen the romance develop as well, which I've really enjoyed. So I would say if you are reading this, definitely stick through the first 100 pages, because then it kind of all starts falling together. It feels like it stops being, I was talking to my partner about it and I was saying, at the beginning it felt really structured, like, okay, in that paragraph I mentioned this and I now need to explain what this is in the world, and then, oh, okay, I've explained that in that paragraph, so the next paragraph is explaining what it is in the world. And it felt very like strictly structured at the beginning for the first 100 pages, but now it feels more like it's like free writing. I don't know how to explain it. It felt very structured at the very start, whereas now it feels more like a free story being told, and I'm really enjoying the way the writing has kind of changed a little bit in style. The intensity of the romance came a bit too sharply, like it came from like intrigue, almost friends, to I'm gonna snog your face off a bit too quick. Like it was a bit too snappy. However, in saying that, I do still really like them together and I do still like them as a couple, and I'm very much excited to see how this goes. I am currently sobbing. That was a really good moment, guys. I literally am crying because it was so sweet. I wish I had my pencil to underline that bit. Got 35 pages left to go. Hopefully no more tears, but we shall see. Hello everybody, I'm in brighter spirits now, and I have just finished A Fragile Enchantment by Alison Saft. I really enjoyed this. The Regency vibe, the era, the time frame was just really nice. I'm not someone who has read a lot of Regency romances, so there may be some that are better out there or that have more accurate depictions of Regency within the time frame. But I really enjoyed this. I'm gonna give it 3.5 stars. I will say there's still like lots left to unravel. We only really get hints as to what's going on with our male main character or our love interest in this book. And I will say as well, the issues with the kingdom
I don't think they were nothing, because I can definitely see in terms of the Regency time and rulers and kingdoms and how it works, that it's very important. The issue that they were having is very, very important and very serious. But I also just wonder why he didn't bother to ask for help. I feel like there's a lot of feuds in here and a lot of family drama. If you like a bit of gossip, you'll really enjoy this. One of my absolute favourite elements in here was for sure the gossip column. I think I talked about it earlier, but they, in like an earlier on clip when I first started reading, but there's like a column that has a gossip and it's signed off by someone called Lovelace. One thing that I also wish is that we went a bit deeper into our love interest Kit's psychology more, I guess is what we want to call it, because there's hints at there being a alcohol addiction at some point in here, and also some other issues with like his magic. But I do kind of, when I say that, I do kind of have to backpedal and say this is a young adult book, and maybe if it was written in the adult genre, we would have had that more of a conversation on the alcoholism and on his magic, and we might have even had a dual POV. And I do personally think this book would have really benefited from having dual POVs. Hey everybody, it's 4:30. I have moved today, believe it or not. Let's give you an update, because I did indeed pick up the Phoenix Keeper. This is just the naked hardcover. This is the Illumicrate exclusive edition from the July box. I am 78 pages through this, which is a decent chunk of the way. This is quite a big boy book. I am kind of loving the representation of like anxiety rep. She is the zookeeper for the Phoenix, and she's a Phoenix keeper, but she's also the keeper of other exhibits in the zoo. And although she does that, she has crippling social anxiety, and she finds it so hard to do the kind of keeper talks to the people that are visiting the zoo, and she finds it really difficult to do these things, and she finds like she's crippled by her inability to do it, basically. And she really is so harsh on herself for not being able to do it and for not being comfortable with it, and she's so willing to help others, but then she just cannot sell herself, which is so heartbreaking but also so incredibly relatable for a girly with anxiety. I will say I was very intimidated by the first 50 pages of this book. There was so much like professional jargon is the best way to say, and like history and like info dumping of this bird's this bird and this bird's this bird, and it was necessary, because I was like, what the hell? What does this bird do? What makes it unique? What's this? What's this? What's this? And it's necessary, but at the same time, guys, it's a lot. It's very much, like I said, like it's professional jargon. Oh, you guys really do see me at my best and at my worst every day. I want to give you guys a quick reading update. I don't really have much to say, but I just want to come in and record that I did get 113 pages through the Phoenix Keeper today. Hey guys, I feel like I have some explaining to do for this vlog slash video, because I am in fact still reading The Phoenix Keeper by S.A. McLean. I read up to halfway, which was part 3 physically, a couple of nights ago, and I just was honestly feeling slightly slumpish. I have actually read an entire 670 page book since then over the last 2 days, and I recently had the idea to have a look and see, because I learned that my Spotify premium, because it's student premium, I don't get any hours of audiobooks, which is low-key really sad to me. I had like a free trial offer for Audible, and I thought, do you know what, I think I would really enjoy this if it was an audiobook. And today I have reorganized my bookshelves. I didn't film it or anything, because it was just like, I finished filming my Defeat the TBR episode and I couldn't put the books back where I wanted them to be, and then when I put them back it just didn't look right, so I've just reorganized them. I don't know, I was feeling a bit like about this book, but since picking up the audiobook today I have been feeling so positive about this, and I am going to continue to listen to the audiobook whilst I transfer some footage across to my editing software so that I can start editing tomorrow's video tonight. I'm kind of like a mess at the moment with all of my editing stuff. I've kind of been editing the night before the video, which is not common for me. Normally I like to get it done a couple of weeks before. I think what I found hard is like I was halfway through and that's just when the Phoenix transfer had happened. And this isn't a spoiler at all, because it literally tells you in the synopsis that the Phoenix transfer happens, and you get to the part where yeah, it says it in here, and then you get to the part that it says that with the world watching and the threat of poachers looming, Alia's success is no longer merely a matter of her keeping a job. She is the keeper of Phoenix, and the future of a species now rests on her shoulder. There's just one thing she has to remember: she is also not alone. And like, I don't know, like all of that information is given here, that they're gonna have that the Phoenix is gonna be transferred. Basically, you know that from the synopsis because of how it is. And like, I feel like it took so long to get to the point, like honestly, to get to the point. And I think I've said this quite a few times, but I'm not a fan of books where the synopsis gives everything away. And for someone, you know, I picked this up this is my Alima Crate book for July, and because of that I don't actually know the most about it, so obviously I'm going to read the synopsis to see what it's about and kind of inspire myself. But I kind of wish I went into this blind, because then I wouldn't have expectations of what it would be like. I'm sincerely hoping you can't hear the copyrighted music in the background playing on Alexa. Just finished The Phoenix Keeper by S.A. McLean. I've been listening to the audiobook all of this morning whilst I built my little mini Disney castle to go on this shelf with my Federal Enchantment book by Alison Staft. I just finished the audiobook of this, and I'm not gonna lie to you guys, the audiobook of this book quite literally saved this book for me. I did listen to it on 1.7 speed. I don't know if that's fast, but like it still felt relatively slow compared to my reading pace. If the end of this book had been not necessarily the whole book, but if we had had more of that, I feel I would have loved this more. It was so tense. I was literally like gasping as I was building, like, oh my god, oh my god. I really enjoyed the romance in here. I really did enjoy the queer romance in this book. It's not a focus point at all. I honestly think, I don't know why I called this a fantasy romance. I feel as though I was told by someone it's a fantasy romance, but if it is sold as a fantasy romance, I personally would caution people against it being like a fantasy romance. It's more fantasy with an element of romance, but it's honestly not the main point of the story. Now, the one problem that I do have is, obviously, as you guys saw, I wasn't really enjoying this for the first 50%, and I do think the last 50% was way better. However, I do feel like this book could have been like 150 pages shorter, and I feel really bad when I like don't love a book, and I feel a bit savage saying this, but I do truly believe that this could have been 150 pages shorter and it would have made the book so much better. However, then I wonder if we would have had as much connection to the zoo animals and to our main character if it was 150 pages shorter, if you know what I mean. Let me know if you guys would like to see me read some more of my special editions in a reading vlog specifically for them. And yeah, that is everything. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, please like and subscribe to the channel if you're new around here. Would like to see more videos from me, and I catch you guys all in my next one. Bye!